Welcome, everyone, to the July 8th, 2025 Board of County Commissioners Legislative Meeting. Please let the record reflect that all 5 commissioners are present. We are joined virtually by Commissioner Cuney, and here in the chambers we have Commissioners Jordan, Waldrop, French, and Kearns. For the record, we did not have any written comment on any of our agenda items, so those present, if you'd please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, that will bring us to open public forum. We have 2 individuals who have signed up ahead of time to participate, so let's bring on down Becky Dickerhoof. Becky, you know the drill?
Yep.
All right.
Becky Dickerhoof, Spokane City. I'm here today to ask the county commissioners to enact what is commonly referred to as a 1590 tax. This ordinance, which amended RCW 82.14.530, allows a county legislative authority to impose a sales and use tax not to exceed 1/10 of 1% of the selling price in the case of a sales tax or value of the article used in case of a use tax. This will allow the county to create more homes for the unsheltered. At least 60% of that money must be used for the construction of housing and related services. The balance must be used for the operation, delivery, or services related to housing. The Opportunity Starts at Home campaign and the National Alliance to End Homelessness, an OSHA steering committee member organization, hosted a congressional briefing on June 25th to discuss the rising number of older Americans experiencing homelessness. The event featured a screening of the acclaimed documentary No Place to Grow Old, which follows the lives of older adults navigating the harsh realities of housing instability. Older adults aged 55 plus are among the fastest growing group entering homelessness across the country, a trend projected to triple by 2030. That's in 6 years. These individuals are often longtime caregivers, workers, and veterans who, after a lifetime of contributions, find themselves priced out of safe and stable housing. Among the 45.6 million renter households in the U.S., 10.9 million have extremely low incomes, and more than half of these households are headed by adults or individuals with disabilities. The 2024 HUD point-in-time count found that 147,000 older adults experienced homelessness on a single night, with half of those adults experiencing unsheltered homelessness. The population of older adults is growing, with 11,000 Americans turning 65 every day. 10% of older adults are currently living below the poverty line, contributing to the growing number of older adults experiencing homelessness. For older adults, their incomes tend to decline as their housing costs increase, which leads to new or worsening housing cost burden. Older adults also often need accessibility modifications as their mobility changes and will often need services and support to remain in their home independently. Households headed by individuals aged 80 and older are set to double in the next 20 years. I hope everyone is aware the alternatives to increased investment in affordable housing programs are significantly more expensive. In Spokane, we know the tract shelter and jail are examples of costly alternatives. Housing assistance programs are as critical as Medicaid and Social Security income for the stability and well-being of older adults with extremely low incomes. Senator Ron Wyden from Oregon states the homelessness crisis is not only a moral imperative, but one that makes economic sense. Thank you.
Thank you, Becky. We now have Debbie Novak. Debbie, if you could state your name and address for the record, and then we'll get the 3 minutes up on the screen there for you.
Hello. Debbie Novak, 6664 Sunshine Shores, and that's in 9 Mile Falls. Okay. Hello, Debbie Novak with Washington Coalition for Police Accountability. I specifically work in this region. We're considered Region 6, and that's, I don't know, I don't want to get too detailed into that, but there's 6 regions across the state. So in this region here, I am an impacted family member. My son, David Novak, was shot and killed in 2019. He was shot in the back by a Spokane City police officer on his porch. He was unarmed, and he had committed no crime. The reason I'm here, there's 2 other impacted family members that are here today from other families. I'm hoping that this will maybe educate, because it would really bother me if I give you the information I'm going to talk to you about and you tell me you already knew this. Initiative 940 was passed in December of 2018. So I'm assuming you're familiar with that. So that changed the bar from malice to what a reasonable police officer would do. It also had a stipulation in there that families receive a regular update. Once a week, they're to receive an update, an impacted family is. What's happening is they're not receiving those updates. The update is that there is no update. There's something going on during that year, that 9 months. They're doing investigations, they're doing something. And then when I talk to law enforcement, whether it be county, city, another agency, they're told that because of Initiative 940, they can't release information. That is not true. They can release the information, they're expected to. What it says is that they need to get permission from the SEER team prior to releasing information. Try and imagine what it's like for a family to go through what I have gone through and other families have gone through. The least you can do is give them an update. You don't have to give them information that's going to compromise the investigation, but you can give them an update. The other thing is public records. I'm not sure how much time I have left. Public records. We keep getting told that the public records cannot be released. If you go and research the WACs, what the WACs say is once that investigation is delivered to the prosecuting attorney, that's the word, delivered to the prosecuting attorney. Whether they hand deliver it, mail it to them, email it to them, once it's delivered, that's when the obligation is there to release public records. The least you can do is release those records to these families. I don't think that's asking too much. So you have a sheriff who actually told a family member that if she wanted to see body cams of what happened to her brother, that she had to come and sit in his office next to him and watch those body cams by herself. So I think you can do better. I know what I'm talking about. I can back all this up. Okay, thank you for listening.
Thank you. All right, is there, oh, I guess we have one individual online that wants to participate in open public forum. All right, just one moment. We'll promote you to a panelist, and if you could please state your name and address for the record, and then you'll have 3 minutes.
Yes, hello, can you guys hear me?
A little quiet. If you can get a little closer to the microphone, maybe?
All right, how about now?
That's better.
Great. Okay, thank you. So my name is Andrew Montero, and my address is 160 Northwest Gilman Boulevard, and I'm in Issaquah, Washington. And the reason for wanting to be on this call today, I'm a developer that specializes in state-licensed healthcare facilities, and I'm currently consulting on multiple around the state, working with Department of Commerce, Department of Health, and consulting private individuals on the construction of communities like the intensive behavioral health that you guys will be reviewing today for regional or local significance. So these community types, specifically the intensive behavioral health, is a land use code similar to that of assisted living. I also deal with transitional housing for the homeless and other behavioral health communities like the enhanced residential facility being built next door to the property you're talking about today. So I hope that you please take into consideration my experience in this space when I give the recommendation to the board to not deem this a community of regional significance. And the reason for that being is this community type has not been well defined yet. It has been fairly new. The community, though, the way they're designed in code is to keep it locally, and that's why it's a 16-bed community. This falls below the threshold that's commonly associated with regional facilities. So while the residents will be coming from various areas around the state, This is not any different than any other community of this type, whether it's senior living or an enhanced service facility, neither of which are of regional significance. This is also a privately funded project, only with partial assistance from Department of Commerce. The residents here are free to come and go. This is not a detention facility. It takes stabilized individuals and assists them in the daily care needs that they have with medication management. The primary difference between this community and the one next door, which is an enhanced service facility, although they're the same resident profile typically, it's the staffing ratio that's increased. That's really the only difference. There's an increased number of counselors available to the residents, and the staff itself is again at a higher ratio to resident. So there's no part of a state initiated or state cited behavioral health network requiring regional placements of communities like this. So I would just like to provide those areas of input. Again, just having worked in this space, I feel like I do have the expertise to make a recommendation that no, this is not a regionally significant community. It's appropriate for the zoning type that it's currently in, and very much compatible with the community that it's located in. So that's all I had to say. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Andrew. All right, is there anyone else here that would like to participate in open public forum? Second call, third and final call. All right, seeing no one else wishing to participate, we'll close the open public forum and we'll move to our agenda. On today's agenda, we are going to be striking item 4L. So again, that's item 4L. We'll be striking that for today, and I would be open for a motion to the rest of the agenda.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I would move that we approve items 3 and 4 and all the sub-items appearing thereunder on today's agenda, excluding item 4L.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. All right, well, that does it for everything on our printed agenda. I will look down to my right. CEO Simmons or Legal Counsel Folsom?
Nothing further from me, Commissioner.
Okay.
I don't believe there's any miscellaneous items today, but we do have 2 executive session items,
Okay.
both pending in potential litigation. The first one, no action in either. The first one is approximately 45 minutes. Scott Simmons, Devin Curda, Preston McCullum, Chief Hooper, Sheriff Knowles, Mike Sparber, Jeff McMorris, and John Colton. The second one, approximately 15 minutes. Scott Simmons, Devin Curda, Jeff McMorris. No action.
Okay. And I will ask Commissioner Cuney, do we have your permission to use your stamp? Okay, that is a thumbs up. All right. Okay, so we will be going into executive session for the purpose stated by Matt Folsom. It is 2:16, and at the conclusion of the executive session, there will be no action taken. There will be no action taken while in executive session, so we'll be adjourned at the conclusion of those executive sessions. All right. Thank you all for joining us today.